A college student thought it would be funny to sit in the front row of his first day of class with a pipe in his mouth, and as a professor made a main point, take the pipe out and say, "Quite right, old chap." Now we all know that this is clearly not something you should or probably even could do, or you may be in for a long semester. There are many justifiable reasons that college campuses have instated anti-smoking policies. Higher learning facilities are dedicated to the academic achievements of their valued students, and they want to eliminate any unnecessary costs. I believe that there are three main points to supporting anti-smoking policies on college campuses. Those are the physical risks, the mental dangers, and the financial responsibilities. I would like to talk to you now about the physical risks. First and foremost, every person should be aware of the harmful toxins that are in tobacco products. The physical risks are lung cancer, heart disease, and other chronic respiratory diseases. The Centers for Disease Control in April of 2014 defined secondhand smoke as a mixture of gases and fine particles that include smoke burning from a tobacco product, smoke being exhaled from a person or persons using tobacco products, and over 7,000 harmful chemicals, including hundreds that are toxic and almost 70 that cause cancer. They also go on to state that separating smokers from non-smokers within the same airspace, cleaning the air, opening windows, and even ventilating the buildings do not protect us from the harmful dangers of secondhand smoke. Cotinine levels, which are nicotine byproducts, were tested in people with secondhand smoke exposure. From 1988 to 2008, there was a decrease from 87.9% to 40.1%, and they found that these were due to the anti-smoking policies that were placed in effect in public areas. I would like to show you what a healthy lung looks like. This is a lung that has been diagnosed with chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, and you can see that there's no room for air to move through there. Students are already under physical strains at college. They're not getting enough sleep due to staying up late studying or even socializing. Their poor eating habits and lack of exercise weaken their immune systems. And the stress of separation anxiety, peer pressure, and academic achievement are also factors. Why would we add tobacco product exposure when it's unnecessary? Now that I've discussed the physical risk, I would like to talk to you about the mental dangers. Prospective memory, as defined in the Addiction 2013 article, is remembering future intentions and activities is critical to everyday remembering. They did a test with 27 current smokers, 24 non-smokers with secondhand exposure, and 28 non-smokers that had never been exposed to secondhand smoke. They were all ages 18 to 30, and they were all college, university, undergrads. They used the Cambridge Perspective Memory Test as their basis. On the time-based test, the non-smokers without secondhand smoke exposure tested 16.3% retention. The non-smokers with exposure were at 13.7% retention, and the current smokers were at 11.6%. Then they did an event-based test. The non-smokers without exposure were at 15.2%. The non-smokers that had exposure were at 14.3%, and the current smokers were at 11.3%. The conclusion of this test showed that in a time-based test, people with second-hand smoke exposure had significant impairment. As if the physical and mental risks are not enough, I would like to explain the financial burdens that permitting smoking causes. Secondhand smoke exposure impacts us all directly and indirectly financially. The Central European Journal of Public Health states, "The cost of secondhand smoke are not limited to the burden of the disease. Exposure also imposes economic cost on the individual, businesses, and society as a whole. These include primarily direct and indirect medical costs, but also productivity losses. In addition, workplaces where smoking is permitted, they incur higher renovation and cleaning costs, higher risk of fire, and they may experience an increase in their insurance premiums. We can apply those same concepts to the university. The Grayson Student Handbook discusses under institutional goals their fiscal responsibility and under their mission statement supporting economic development. Employing someone to clean smoking areas and pick up cigarette butts on campus is not a logical option. The average cost of a pack of cigarettes is $7.89. With the cost of books, student fees, tuition, most students are working full or part-time jobs to help with the cost, and this is not a cost that they need to have. In addition, there are free addiction and support groups. Most importantly, I hope I've opened everyone's eyes to the dangerous effects of secondhand smoke exposure. I've discussed the 3 main points that we should all support anti-smoking policies on college campuses. Those are the physical risks, the mental dangers, and the financial responsibilities. Be aware of your local college campus's smoking policies. Be proactive in getting or keeping them smoke-free by voting in elections that pertain to those matters. Just like our first student thought that he was being cute, this is really no laughing matter. There's an article that's entitled "Only 100% of Smoke-Free Environment is Adequate in Protecting Us from the Dangers of Secondhand Smoke." 5 million deaths globally per year are related to tobacco abuse.